I'll tell you, I came into this one of the biggest skeptics there were. I've been a diabetic for 14 years diagnosed. How many years before that, I don't know. I was born and bred a Nebraska boy, eating meat and potatoes. But once I found out that I was a diabetic, I did everything that I possibly could, changing my diet, eliminating carbs, eliminating sugars, white flour, the works. Over the last 14 years, I've tried everything. I've tried just about every oral med they have on the market, metformin, Januvia, the list goes on, with bad side effects, aches and pains and weight gain and just everything. And I restricted my diet all the way down to a vegetarian, even a limited vegetarian diet. I tried the paleo diet. I've tried the Atkins diet. I've tried, just a lot of stuff, and because my numbers were all the way, I started out, my numbers were in the 14s for A1C. On meds, I got them at one point down to 7.7, but that was on heavy meds. And then I had it with oral meds, and I finally resorted to taking insulin, which for me was, I felt I've resigned myself to being a diabetic forever. Even though I've heard stories, oh, you can reverse diabetes and all this, I felt like I just threw in the towel, right? But the last year and a half of being on insulin, which I know insulin is designed for a type 1 diabetic, not a type 2 diabetic. It has long-term side effects to your body and to your organs. So I did not want to be on it long-term. And, like I said, short of going somewhere and having some witch doctor poke and prod me, I was willing to try anything. And I came across your TikTok videos. I don't know how. They just showed up on my For You page. And, I watched them, and I watched every video you had, everything. I even sought you out on YouTube and such. And then I went out, and I'm a research guy. So I went out and checked out, Feel Great System, and I look for horror stories. I don't look for success stories and testimonies, and I kept coming across rave reviews. And finally I reached out to you and I said, I want to talk, right? And you were awesome. You gave me a call, and I started on this. I posted the other day that on April 16th, I had my A1C tested, and I started the Feel Great System that same week. I started having immediate results, huge results now, but my daily poke was in the 200s on a regular basis, the 160s, 170s on a really strict, I really watch what I'm doing. But my waking number, my fasting number was still in the 200s. And I just never understood that. They diagnosed me years ago with sleep apnea. They told me, it's because you're stop breathing in the middle of the night, and your body's doing this fight and flight response, boosting your insulin output in order to do that, and that's what's causing your waking numbers to be high. I don't believe that. I'm married, and my wife would know if I was stop breathing all throughout the night, right? So anyway, over time, my numbers started getting better and better. And I even called you one time because for 2 weeks it plateaued, right? It immediately dropped below the 200s, and then it kind of plateaued between 145 and 165 on my daily poke. And I was patient, and I called Rav and I said, what's going on? And Rav said, well, how long were you diabetic? And I said, 14 plus years. And he goes, well, let's give it a week on Feel Great system for every year you've been a diabetic. And that happened to be right at the 3-month mark, right? The money back guarantee. And I was like real skeptic. I go, he's just trying to get me to do the whole 3 months or something, you know? And so I'm being a real skeptic, even though I'm seeing results, I'm being a real skeptic. And so 3 months on it, and my numbers started to get down to where my waking numbers were in the 115s, the 125s, maybe 135. So I was getting really good numbers right towards the end of the 3 months. I scheduled my doctor visit with my lab work literally 3 months to the day of when I started the Feel Great system. And my numbers came back. I haven't even reviewed them with the doctor yet. That's tomorrow. I actually have a visit with the doctor tomorrow. But my A1C dropped from a 9.1 to a 7.2. That's almost 2 full points in 3 months. I don't want to get emotional, but that was crazy. I haven't seen that on years of being on meds, right? And diet and exercise and everything. And I'll tell you, I did nothing except the Feel Great system during this 3 months. I didn't exercise. We walked a little bit, but I wasn't like doing exercise because this is going to be the Feel Great system results. It's not going to be, hey, Sturg, you started to feel better, which I did. I'm going to start working out. Nope, I resisted working out because I wanted it just to be the Feel Great system numbers. And, you know, the other thing, which I had no expectations of, was my cholesterol dropped from 233 down to 159 or 169. My triglycerides, which I've had triglycerides as high as 700s, and for years, ever since I was in my 30s, and it was 404 earlier this year. Now it was 156, which is only 6 points below being normal. So just blood work after blood work after blood work, each one of them are either in range or really close to being in range. And 2 months, 2 months. I'll tell you, I tested my blood before I got on the call, and it says, I don't know if you can see that, 113, right? And to show you, there's a number from before I got on the Feel Great system, 280, right? There's 304, right? That's before I got on the Feel Great system. And so it's just truly amazing. Did it take time? Yes, it took time. But have I seen amazing results? Yes, more than I ever expected. I even told my brother, how long are you going to be on this? I said, you know what? I'll be on this the rest of my life. I was going to be on insulin the rest of my life, and that was going to shorten my life, right? So being on this and just getting a new lease on life, it's a game changer. So I can't really say enough. I can't thank Rav and Kieran enough for their videos, and it's just amazing. So
that's amazing.
That's my story.
That's amazing, Matt. And I love how you showed the numbers. And it's true. Matt called me, I think 3 weeks after doing it. He's like, it's not working. Like, I'm stuck. And I love what you said, Matt. I told you, as many years as you've been struggling, give it weeks. I think that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
And Matt, you told me one more thing. And you can verify this, or if you want to add anything, add something. You told me you had more ice cream and alcohol during this 3-month period than you had in a 3-month period in 14 years.
Yeah, I'll go back just a little bit. Last year, my A1C was 7.7 last August. And that was about 6 months of being on insulin. So I did see some results. But at the beginning of the year, whether it was COVID or whatever, we started eating a little more relaxed. We had a little more pasta. I might have had ice cream every now and then, but still really strict diet. And I was really bummed when my April numbers was 9.1 because my diet hadn't really changed that much. And I don't know if my body started getting used to the insulin or not. And I wanted to throw this in there is when I talked to my doctor after that April visit, his solution was, let's increase your insulin 1 unit a day until we start to see your numbers drop. And I said, to what end? And he goes, what do you mean? I said, well, till I get to what number of units insulin? He goes, let's say 54. And I'm like, 54? There's no way I'm going to be injecting 54 units in me every day. And I didn't tell him I was going on this. But I'll tell you, they built a Burger King literally a block and a half from my house. I eat 2 breakfast sandwiches in the morning 2 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week. I've had ice cream more than I care to say, even alcohol, and pasta, and even bread. And I'm not saying this is something you can use to eat crappy, but I was not only enjoying the numbers and everything, but I was also testing the Feel Great system to see, is it really going to help me, with my numbers, right? And I'll tell you, we were with friends on a weekend. We had pasta. I had 2 alcoholic drinks, which I have maybe 6 alcoholic drinks a year. I had 2 alcoholic drinks that night, and I had ice cream. The next morning, my fasting number was 105. I haven't seen 105 since I was diagnosed 14 years ago. I haven't seen a 105.
Wow.
So it's bananas,
Yeah. There you go. That's amazing, Matt. Thank you. And I'm so grateful you shared that. This was Matt's blood work in April. His A1C was 9.1. His triglycerides were 440. He said they used to be 700. His liver enzymes have normalized. His fatty liver is normalized. That's why his triglycerides normalized.
Yep. And I didn't even put on there my LDLs. It dropped from 160 to 107. And I lost 10 pounds, which I only weighed 205 and I weigh 195 now. But I mean, it wasn't a weight loss thing for me at all. But without even trying, and you heard what I ate, I still lost 10 pounds. So
now I hope you fix up your diet a bit and start exercising.
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
Exercise is critical for health, not just weight loss, for health. But this is phenomenal, guys. And Sturg, when I met you, you eat all organic and you eat good quality food. When I met you, that's what you said.
Yeah, I do. Definitely do.